All right. So, Brandon, remember back in the days before we even had a podcast, I came onto one of your YouTube live stream things, and we took quizzes on each other's behalf.
Yes, we did. It was for the Knights Radiant.
It was the Knights Radiant quiz. We're going to do something like that again, but following last week's episode where we talked about video games, we're going to do this thing that Adam found that's like, what video game character are you?
Oh, I get to find out which video game character I am?
You do. And I'm sure you are just absolutely champing at the bit for this. So here's what we're going to do.
Is it champing? Is that the way?
It's champing at the bit, yes.
Nice. Everyone always says chomping.
It's not chomping.
It's not chomping.
Champ at the bit.
What does a champ mean?
Champing is, I think, what horses do when they chomp.
They grind against, okay.
Yeah.
So it is a chomp, but it's a specific type of chomp.
It might be. I don't actually know.
That's got to be one of the most
horse person listening to us who's like, champing is nothing like that at all. But yeah. So,
well, I am champing.
You are champing at the bit and at so many other things. We are going to do first a quiz where we answer for ourselves, and then we have a different quiz where we're going to answer for the other person.
Okay. Assuming we don't talk too much, I could see us not getting through an entire one quiz.
Absolutely see us spinning off into wild tangents.
Because have you heard my segue story?
You mean seg story?
Yes, I have. So yeah, okay. So you already got that one.
I know that one.
Yes.
I'm so excited for us to talk about a seg, and to ride a seg around. Except the vehicle Segway is spelled.
It's spelled
in an intelligible way.
Yes. Well, that's because you said champing. And I'm like, what other things have I gotten wrong?
What other things have we said wrong forever? All right. So, you ready for this one?
Okay.
I'm actually going to wait because, as someone might be able to see on the video feed, there's Adam, not at the computer.
Not recording my answers?
We need him to record your answers. Okay. So, question the first. How do you react in stressful situations? Take a moment to meditate and calm down. Keep your stress inside and keep going. Listen to music and escape the world. Let your emotions burst out.
I keep my stress inside and I keep going.
Same.
Yeah?
That is maybe not the healthiest way to deal with stress.
It depends on the stressful situation, right? Like I'm thinking of like something chaotic is happening in a moment, whatnot. Like I don't get very stressed in my day-to-day life. I do a job that I really enjoy. And like if stress happens to me, it's because I've gotten bad feedback, right? Like an editor's written to me. This is one of the easiest ways to make me stressed is get the feedback and an editor say, this book is way worse than you thought it was. We need to talk. And that will just loom over my head forever until I talk about it. And then, but what I'm doing is I just start working on how I'm going to fix this. Like what's wrong? How do I fix it? What are the solutions? Problem solving is just something that engages me and I enjoy. It's part of why I'm a writer.
Yeah, I find, well, first of all, over the course of the pandemic, I have been much more prone to anxiety attacks, which is not something I've ever had to deal with in the past.
You'd never had one at all, or?
Once or twice. I remember on one of the writing excuses retreats, that hit me pretty hard. And so enough that I knew to recognize it when it happened, but not on the level that I would call that I have, anxiety or panic disorder or anything like that.
Right.
Whereas over the course of the last year and a half, they've been a lot more common and something that I've had to learn how to deal with. And so that is a large producer of stress for me. And then also just when I am far overscheduled. This week, for example, not only do I have all of the RPGs that I run for people, I can run an RPG for you, hire me, pay me money. I've got all of those, plus we are doing the Writing Excuses digital conference in conjunction with Surrey, which is taking all of my stuff. I taught a 3-hour masterclass on plot today. And then I'm also, writing Dark One right now and cranking out like 4,000 words a day, which for me is a lot.
That's an incredible amount.
And so, yeah, when I get into that situation, Dawn knows, my wife knows that if I say, hang on, I need to go shoot some people for a while, that I'm going to go play Overwatch or something and kind of work out stress that way, which again, maybe is not the healthiest way to get rid of that stress.
See, I think the answer is that you're playing the music. You're doing.
Is that the music one?
Yeah, that's the music one.
Okay.
You are finding a way to relax from your stress in a different mode.
In this case, the music is the delightful rhythm of bullets hitting my enemy's bodies.
I think that's the music one.
Okay.
See, I've had a panic attack one time. And
they're super fun.
They was super fun. I actually really thought it was interesting. And it happened to me. It was physiological. I took 2 Excedrin because I had a really bad headache and I was really tired, and it was at a con. And normally I take 1 Excedrin. And I think we may have mentioned before on the podcast, I may have even told this story. I am very, caffeine. I do not have a tolerance to caffeine because for religious beliefs, I do not drink coffee or tea, and I just don't like soda. And I never have caffeine. And so Excedrin, if you don't know, one of the primary ingredients in it is caffeine.
Yeah.
Which I've always used Excedrin. It's like I can superpower because an Excedrin will work on me way better than other people because I don't have a caffeine intolerance. But I took 2 when I absolutely should not have taken 2. And because I had a panel to sit on. It wasn't a particularly stressful panel or whatnot, but it was this thing where you have to be on, right? And you have to psych yourself up. Psych yourself up? I don't know what that phrase is.
Psych yourself up. Yeah, that's the phrase.
It works? Okay.
As far as I know.
And you have to prepare yourself and you have to be. And so I was doing that, and then the Excedrin hit and the caffeine hit, and I went into fight or flight. And my response to that, I kid you not, was, wow, this is really interesting. I will be able to write about this. And I just did the panel, right? Because it was not emotionally induced. I bet it would be very different if it were induced by something other than taking 2 Excedrin for me.
Possibly.
But I just divided my brain between one part is panicking and the rest of it is just me who's observing the part that's panicking and being like, wow, that's interesting. That's never happened to me before. And just went on the panel and did it.
That's actually one of the big ways that a therapist will teach you to deal with a mental condition is called the observer or the spectator.
Oh, okay.
That if you can split your mind enough to say, this is happening and I acknowledge that it's happening, but I'm still okay and I can watch it. That's something Howard does a lot, for example.
I guess because
there you go.
It was just this one experience, but my solution to it was, just keep going.
Just keep going. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to mark you for stress, keep the stress inside, and me for listen to music and escape the world. Okay, next up. By the way, since we're talking about music, I'm just going to put out a plug. I'm a big fan of Halsey, and I'm a big fan of Trent Reznor, and they just collaborated on an album, and it is rocking my world right now. It's fantastic.
What's it called?
It is called If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power.
Sounds very Trent Reznor.
Very Trent Reznor-y.
He's been doing soundtracks
industrial
and
stuff
lately.
Really great.
Okay.
Anyway, that's beside the point. Okay, question number 2. What interests you most from these 4 choices?
Okay.
Computer engineering and, quote, mad science. Photography and movie nights. Reading and academics. Martial arts and heists. I don't know.
I like those all.
I like all of those things, but which one interests you the most?
Is this for me to do or to
this
watch
is you.
Someone else?
You as a person.
If I'm going to, so,
I guess if it's what are you going to participate in versus what are you going to watch other people do?
Heists. No one pulls heists.
No one pulls heists. But nobody really does. Okay, I shouldn't say nobody does mad science because I know some people who do mad science. I think this is what do you enjoy just whether you're participating in it or observing it. Which of those things
that's very
brings you joy?
Because if I'm going to watch something, it's going to be heists, right? And I like participating in problem solving and things in a very heist sort of way. But if you just said, Brandon, what are you doing tonight? It's not going to be a heist.
It's not going to be a heist.
It's not going to be martial arts.
I'm a little disappointed now.
It's going to be academics, but I'm not writing about academics. I'm writing about heists, right?
There is absolutely I want to write now the story of Brandon Sanderson's late night activities where he sneaks out and he steals famous jewels because it's the only way he can get a rush anymore.
Food heists. He steals famous bagels.
Stealing famous bagels. For me, I think I'm going to say reading and academics because I really am that nerd who's like, oh, wait, I want to learn all about this thing.
Right.
And then we'll spend hours researching it.
I'm going to say heists. I think it's probably wrong, but if I'm going to sit and write, like even if I'm doing writing, I am not just sitting and doing academics. I am imagining some weird heist.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say.
Your heists and I'm going to be reading and academics. Sweet. Okay.
Like I'm not a Ravenclaw. This is the thing that people get wrong about they'll put almost all writers into Ravenclaw very naturally. I'm a Slytherin, right? Like I am going to problem solve, figure things out, and try to be the best I can be at the thing. And I have boundless ambition, and I want to achieve things.
You know how you can tell if someone's a Slytherin?
They will tell you.
They'll tell you.
Yes.
That's the number one criteria in my experience. I am a Hufflepuff for what it's worth.
You're absolutely a Hufflepuff.
100%. All right. So what type of video games do you enjoy? This feels like cheating on a video game quiz. Life simulations, FPS or roguelikes, puzzles, platformers, or RPGs?
I'm going to go FPS and roguelikes, even though my favorite game of all time is a puzzle game, Civilization, I would count. I'm going to say, like, if you look at that top 10 list, I tried to vary things around, but if you ask me what I'm going to play, I'm going to play an FPS or...
Okay.
What are you going to play?
I don't know. League of Legends is not on here.
League of Legends. I would do puzzle for some of those.
Maybe. Like a Teamfight Tactics is very much a puzzle game.
Yeah.
And I would put all of the CCGs, like Legends of Runeterra, into puzzle game. But maybe it's FPS.
It could be. I mean, Overwatch is FPS.
Overwatch is an FPS.
Right.
I'm gonna mark that.
Okay. We're both FPS on that one.
Boom.
These are not going to get us right because it's going to put me way too actiony, where really I'm like the real world incarnation of Megamind.
Who just sits back.
Yes, and imagines doing all of these things. And yeah.
You know, for the viewers out there who are laughing at Brandon comparing himself to a supervillain, you need to understand... in the 20 plus years of role-playing games I've played with Brandon, he is always either in one or two cases, he's the upstanding righteous moron, but more often than not, 90% of the time, he plays a supervillain.
You
play the necromancer, the whatever, who's the supervillain. Okay, here we go. Question 4. What do you consider to be the most important aspect of life?
Ooh.
Helping those in need, protecting your loved ones, innovation at any cost, and having choices. That actually does map pretty well onto the 4 Hogwarts houses.
It does kind of. But here's the thing. I can admit it asked the question, what is the most important? Not to me, but what is the most important?
Okay.
And I'm going to say, by my religious philosophy, it is actually having choices. That is more important than even helping people. If you don't have a choice to help people, then helping people is meaningless.
See, you're why people aren't getting the vaccine. What is this nonsense? No, you're right. I mean, I'm not going to answer that, but I can understand that answer. Choice at all costs. The Slytherin answer is protecting your loved ones.
Yeah.
The Hufflepuff answer is helping those in need, and that is my choice for this. Helping those in need by far.
I think the Slytherin answer isn't there power at any cost?
Innovation at any cost.
Oh, that's not very Slytherin.
Is not a Slytherin
That's
thing.
more Ravenclaw. You're right.
Yeah. Incidentally, can you map the 4 Ninja Turtles onto the 4 Hogwarts houses?
Oh.
Do they divide up well?
I don't know if they do. I mean...
Because Donatello's a Ravenclaw, and that seems very obvious.
That's very obvious.
Leonardo is a Gryffindor?
There's 2 Gryffindors is the thing, because Michelangelo's got to be Oh wait, he can be a
Michelangelo
Hufflepuff.
could be Hufflepuff.
He can be Hufflepuff. Yeah,
But then is Raphael Slytherin?
totally. Yeah, he
Okay.
absolutely is Slytherin.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, you can map the 4 Ninja
Man,
Turtles.
very nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Wow.
Um,
By the
totally
way,
incidental to our quiz.
I don't actually think people map to one of 4 mutually exclusive choices in how they act. People do not fit into boxes that easily. But on a podcast, they can.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Ninja Turtles totally can.
The Ninja Turtles, they're cartoons, not people.
Yes.
Sorry to disillusion whoever out there thought they were real. All right. So next. Question 5. What kind of books do you like to read?
Ooh, this will be pretty easy, I assume.
Sci-fi novels?
Uh-huh.
Fantasy? Nonfiction or historical fiction? And mystery?
I will pick fantasy, even
Yeah.
though nonfiction would probably be number 2 on that list for my job. If you actually look at what I read when I want to, it will be a fantasy novel.
Yeah. Well, and forever I was historical fiction. But over the course of the last, I guess during the pandemic, I have been going out of my way to try to read more fantasy. And that's everything that's on my nightstand right now. Hey, apropos of that conversation,
Yes.
She Who Rides the Storm, Caitlin Sangster.
Yeah.
You've got a great big cover quote on there. I'm in the middle of that right now. It's phenomenal.
She is very good.
I really enjoy it.
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to say nonfiction and historical fiction because given the choice, when I am not trying to force myself to get to know my genre better, historical is what I will default into. Every time. Okay. Question 6. How do you treat others you don't like? With a smile and mean internal dialogue. That's me when I'm driving. Snarky comments, civilly minus the smile, or with blatant malice disguised as kindness.
Civilly minus the smile.
That's the only really nice one on here. I'm not a mean person. I don't think you're a mean person either. Like, people I don't like, learning how to be nice to people you don't like and how to get along with them and how to work together with them is arguably the single biggest factor in growing up.
You know, it might be the smile one. Let me think about it for a minute because a part of also growing up was me acknowledging there are people I don't like that it is no fault of theirs. And for some reason, I don't click with this person. I've had to learn to differentiate between this is a person that is toxic, which is actually really rare to know someone in the circles. And this is a person whose personality puts me on edge. And so therefore the problem is me, not them. Right? What would you say is that? Is that the, like if I look at the majority of people I don't like, it's that second category. Their personality puts me on edge. There's nothing specifically wrong with them. They should not, I'm not going to give them feedback and criticism about. I'm just like, I just don't get along with this person.
And there's plenty of people I don't get along with, and I don't consider them bad people. I don't know if I know any genuinely bad people at all. In fact, there's people that I like a lot. There's people I love who I do not get along with. And I think for me, that's going to be civilly minus the smile. That I am not necessarily going to enjoy our interactions, but I am definitely going to be nice and kind to you the whole time.
I'm going to do that too, because the first one has wisecracks in the head, right? That's a smile, but wisecracks in the head. And what I actually try to do is smile and not be a jerk that I have something wrong that makes me not like this person.
Yeah. Well, and I don't want to be like secretly bad-mouthing people inside. Because I'm not going to gossip to other people. And so why should I do it to myself?
It's like, oh, I don't like this person. Why? Because I have weird biases about their speech patterns. Like, what do you...
Yeah. I mean, there's a handful of politicians that if I ever meet in person, I'm going to tell them to go and get their shine box. But that's never going to happen, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, civilly minus the smile.
For both of us.
There we go. All right. Question 7. How do you treat your friends? As semi-intelligent human beings. Like family. With love and loyalty, but from a distance. That's a hard one to answer during a pandemic. And with unwavering kindness and empathy.
Well, I'm not that. That's my wife, but that's not me. Let's hear those other three again.
Okay, as semi-intelligent human beings.
What does that
That's
even
the
mean?
sociopath answer. That's
Yeah.
like, okay, you're my friends, but I only partially recognize.
I mean, that one could also be interpreted as a joke, right?
Mm-hmm.
My friends, we're a bunch of semi-intelligent human beings.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the one that's like not looking down on them, but we are going to joke with each other.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tease them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like family, which depending on how you treat your family could be any of these other three.
Yes.
With love and loyalty, but from a distance.
What are you going to pick?
I don't know.
Like, I don't keep my friends at a distance, I don't think. I mean, life keeps them at a distance.
Mm-hmm.
We're adults
That's the problem.
with very little time to hang out with people.
Mm-hmm. Doing this podcast and seeing you like for a couple hours every other week is more in-person interaction than I get with anyone.
Yeah. If I didn't have writing group, and I know yours is digital, like, I would spend that time probably not doing anything that is good for me. I would be working more I'm going to go with the first one.
Semi-intelligent human beings.
I'm just going to be like, semi-intelligent human beings, that's me joking with my friends. If you ask the turtles what they regard each other, everyone but Leonardo is going to be like, oh yeah, they're semi-intelligent, not human beings.
And I think I am going to go with the Hufflepuff answer on this. Unwavering kindness and empathy. Like, if you're my friend, I would do whatever it takes.
For you. I think you are unwaveringly kind and empathetic.
That is very kind of you. I when I lived in Mexico, one of my friends down there was like, hey, so Dan, tell me, if I ever jump the border and come into your country as an illegal, will you help me out? And I'm like, obviously I would do that. Like, there's no question. So now, whatever law enforcement officers are listening to this, know that you can come to my house and find illegals that I'm harboring.
You're not chaotic good. You're just Hufflepuff good.
Yeah. Which is different. Okay. Question number 8.
Okay.
What do you think is your best trait?
Okay.
My devotion to the causes I believe in.
Okay.
My dedication to standing up for others.
Okay.
My ability to make the right choice, even when it isn't the easy choice. My intellect and superior brilliance.
It's the last one. It sounds bad when you put it like that. List maker. Let's point that out.
It makes you sound, but, given that the whole point of this question is talk about yourself and what you're really good at and what kind of makes you stand out in a crowd.
Yes.
I don't think of this as brag about yourself. I think of this as if we're on an adventuring party, what is your role going to be in it, And, I would absolutely pick intellect for you. I think that's a good choice. I don't know what I would pick for me. My best trait?
These are all things that I think could apply to you. It's which one is the highest on the list.
I think for most of us, we like to believe that we have certain aspects of these. Man. I don't know. I would like to say that it's making the right choice even when it's not the easy choice, but I make a lot of easy choices. I default
Sometimes
to those
the right
a lot.
choice is the easy choice.
And maybe given the way that I have tried to build my life, that I have built it in such a way that the right choice often is easy to make.
Yeah.
Maybe that is a way to say this. Boy, you know what? I am going to say that one.
All right.
You talked me into it. Here we go. Okay. What kind of music do you prefer to listen to?
Ooh.
Classic rock or metal?
Okay.
Indie or lo-fi?
Okay.
Synthwave or techno?
Okay.
Classical or pop?
I have a playlist for each of them. So what do I prefer? If I'm going to be in the car and I'm going to put it on, I'm going to put on the metal, right? Metal and what was the other one in metal?
Classic rock.
Classic rock. Yeah, I'm probably going to put that on.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to say that one too.
But when I write, I don't listen to that is the thing. And I spend the majority of my time writing. And when I'm writing, I do have a lo-fi playlist that I listen to sometimes. I do have a synthwave playlist. It's very small.
Yeah.
I wish I had more synthwave I liked because it jives with my childhood.
I've got 2 awesome synthwave K-pop songs I'll send you.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I would like to stick those on the list.
Since I know listeners will ask, that is I Can't Stop Me by Twice and La Di Da by Everglow.
I think that it's too bad there's not a epic soundtrack option because that would be my actual answer.
That would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Sit and listen to movie soundtracks. I actually have 2 different movie soundtrack playlists that I will listen to. One is Hans Zimmer, like exciting action scenes. Yep. And the other one is based on the soundtrack of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That's like my creepy, tense music for when I'm writing that kind of scene.
You would need to have that handy.
I do. I also have an Arvo Part kind of classical music playlist that's just, I need some very low-key piano stuff.
But I even have a pop duets playlist that I made recently, right?
That's cool.
It was cool.
Does it have Islands in the Stream by Dolly Parton?
Not.
And Kenny
it doesn't
Rogers?
have any old ones.
Okay.
It's all kind of, basically, when I make playlists, I'm looking for new music. I get worn out on music pretty easily. And so I don't listen to things that I've grown bored with, even if I like the songs, right?
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. Given that I have already, in this very podcast, recommended a Halsey Trent Reznor industrial album, I'm going to click classic rock or metal as well.
Yeah.
So there we go.
But you listen to a lot of K-pop.
I do listen to an awful lot of K-pop.
Yep.
What is the most important factor in a partner to you? Dedication to their work, their intelligence or innovative mindset, how open and comforting they can be, and how well they treat others.
I probably will pick how well they treat others, just based on knowing why I picked my wife.
Yeah. This one is a very hard one for me to answer because I want to say dedication to their work. Because what I have learned, with my wife, with my family, with all the various assistants that I have had over the years, the number one quality that stands out in a partner is that they are going to do what needs to be done without waiting to be asked for it to be done.
Right, yeah.
Someone who is going to identify problems and solve them rather than just wait for you to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if they don't treat others nicely, then it kind of doesn't matter how good they are at their job,
Okay, you were looking at partner business-wise. I was looking at romantic partner.
I was looking at partner everything. I think I am, at the end of the day, going to say how well they treat others. Because I have just been so warm and fuzzy this whole time. But I will say that other thing is important. Okay.
I should have just picked the evil option every time.
Every single time.
To see if I can see
what you end up with. Bowser. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your current and or favorite hobby?
Okay.
I think I know what this is going to be for both of us. It depends on how we define hobby, though.
Yes.
Question or answer number 1. Kickboxing, martial arts, exercising of some form.
Okay.
I am way too out of shape for that to be correct.
I do that 4 times a week for a half hour, but I bet the others will beat it.
Do you do it for fun, though, or do you do it so that you don't die?
It is more so I don't die.
There you
go.
But
I do find it fun.
Okay. Answer number 2. Reading, writing, studying new subjects.
Okay.
I'm probably going to say that one.
Yes.
Answer 3. Photography, composing music, and filming.
Okay.
And answer number 4, programming, building PCs, and gaming.
Oh.
So if I separate my job from my hobbies, I have to pick gaming for this.
Yes, I think you do.
But I do at least need to point out that the reason writing is my job is because it's my favorite thing to do.
Right.
It is important to have a hobby that is separate from it. But if I were not a professional writer, writing would be my hobby.
Yeah. I'm going to pick writing because I write for a hobby while I am a professional.
Yes, you do.
Meaning if you leave me alone and I don't have job to do, I kind of want to be writing.
I remember way back in the early days of your career when you had gone on a big trip, and I want to say this was an overseas trip.
Uh-huh.
And you came home and kind of got this guilty-looking smirk on your face and said, so I accidentally wrote a middle grade novel, and that's where Alcatraz came from. And the fact that you could accidentally write a novel on a plane, writing is your hobby.
You are mixing up two stories. So,
was that two stories?
Yes. So Alcatraz happened because my girlfriend at the time went on vacation, and I crawled under a desk and wrote this.
Okay.
Plane flight one was Legion.
You're
I wrote
right.
Legion.
Was it Legion or was it Emperor's Soul?
Emperor's Soul also happened that same way. So either one would be okay, but I think it was Legion you're thinking of, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about the airplane, and I just remember very clearly I accidentally wrote a book.
I did accidentally write Alcatraz.
Anyway, I'm going to say gaming. Boom. Okay, final question. You excited?
I am.
Okay, here we go. What cheers you up after a bad day?
Ooh.
Laughing at fail compilation videos.
Okay.
So this is clearly written for people younger than I am. Hanging out with a close friend and listening to music.
Okay.
As we did with the first question, maybe listening to music can be other things you do with your close friend. A walk through nature or curling up with a book.
Those are two very opposite things.
They
the same
are,
question.
but they're both kind of getting at the same idea of
get away,
peaceful escape. And then sleeping or eating a good meal.
Ooh.
So, if I'm traveling, my reward at the end of the day, my cookie for good behavior is eating a good meal.
That's actually what I was thinking too.
Yeah. If I am at home though, which these days is most of the time, what cheers me up after a bad day is spending time with my wife. And so that is going to be hanging out with a close friend, and more often than not, it is watching British Baking Show or The Expanse or something like that. So I think I'm going to say that one.
Okay. I'm going to say the last one then.
You know, I might say the meal one too, because if it's been a really long day, I will definitely get food to eat while I am, sitting with my wife and watching TV. So, I don't know.
Pick a different one for me. So
okay, results. So you say the meal one, and I will say the friend one.
Yes. And
submit. It is calculating results.
Let's. Okay. What do we think of this quiz?
What do we think of this quiz? This quiz was more interesting than I expected.
Yes.
Adam, you have done a fine job choosing this quiz. These personality quizzes often are so tailored to a specific thing that it's like, if you were going to fight, which weapon would you use? And then obviously which Ninja Turtle you're going to end up as at the end. And this doesn't have that. Like, I have answered all these questions, and I genuinely don't know what
they were
video game
for,
character it's going to kick out at the end.
I agree. I like that aspect of the quiz. I do think the answers they chose were a little too vague in some places, and in others a little too specific, in that a lot of people I know would want answer D, right? And there's only four, or not D, E. There's four answers, and the answer that you want isn't on the list.
Yeah. Well, and like the hobby one, they had to put so many hobbies crammed down into four things. Programming, building a PC, and gaming.
Yes.
I absolutely adore one of those, and never at all ever do the other two.
Yeah, I think that it would have been a stronger quiz in that case if it's like, what is a hobby? You would be like, I fulfill some artistic pursuit. Or I seek some sort of media entertainment. Or I look to get outside in nature and work my body in some way, right? Like, you could have had things, if you're going to do four, that would have done so. I'm going to give this quiz a B-.
A B-? Yes. I'm going to give it a B+, just because I thought they did a good job. And by the way, this is brainfall.com. If any of our listeners want to take the same quiz.
Yeah, I'm sure Adam will link it in the liner notes.
Awesome.
Let us know what you are in the comment.
Yeah, let us know.
Okay, I would love to see.
Drive engagement. Good job, Adam.
Drive engagement. We have r/Sanderson is where conversation about these episodes take
Yeah,
place.
or on the YouTube channel comment section.
Yes. R-Sanderson or /Sanderson is one of the subreddits I cannot get to on my phone because I don't actually have my Reddit account logged in on my phone. And it's one of the ones where it's like, you have to use the app to participate in this.
That's odd.
It's weird. It's annoying. Anyway.
All right.
Are we ready to hit the get result button?
Yep. Get the result. Let's see what you are.
Get result. Wait, what?
Kirby?
Take this short survey to see your result.
Uh-oh.
I just took a survey. Is this going to be like an ad thing? Oh my gosh. Oh no,
It's one question
demographic
long.
information.
Okay. It's one
Okay.
question. Okay. All right. I
Well,
was worried.
I should have warned you before. I forgot to
It's
mention
technically it's 2 questions because it wants to know my gender and my age category.
Okay. Sometimes these things you do, and then there's like a 30-minute fill out this
Yeah.
survey for whatever survey place.
Also,
Uh-huh.
these age categories break at 44. So I'm in 35 to 44 and you're in 45 to 54.
I am.
So you're so much older than me.
Man.
Just absolutely grotesque. It does at the bottom, by the way, have a thing that says, why only 2 genders? Because they know that people are going to be upset about that. Okay. I am Max Caulfield. Who the hell is that?
that. That's who I got, and I also did not know.
Oh, wow. You both got the same
Is
person?
that like Max Payne? No, because his last name is Payne.
Yes.
Is he from something that I don't know?
She, actually.
She. Sweet. Okay, I'm a creative individual who will travel a great distance for those I love. When faced with difficult decisions and situations, I may fumble and make mistakes, but in time, I learn to accept them. Remember to capture the good times because life is a strange and mysterious journey.
Okay, I want to know who this is. How is it
I'm looking up
pulling
Max
up
Caulfield right now.
a video game that neither of us know, being pretty heavy gamers?
I think I recognize the game.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty big game for the genre that
It's called
is.
Life is Strange.
Oh, okay. Life is Strange is
I haven't
visual.
even heard of that one. Is it a visual novel?
It's a visual novel, yeah.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, it sounds cool.
It's one of the archetypal visual novels that I have not played, but that makes sense that it's going to peg us as visual novel characters, maybe. But Adam, I'm kind of surprised that
Maybe I picked poorly. I'm not sure.
I don't
Okay,
know.
so we're both Max Caulfield.
No, he is.
No, I
You
am.
two
You are. Okay.
Yes.
So that's kind of odd. That makes me maybe lower my ranking, right? Because I would, if I do a quiz like this, I want there to be enough options of characters that if you've answered like twice differently than somebody else, you get a different character, right? It's like, I don't know if that's possible in the pure permutations of the math that you would,
Yeah.
if you would by 12 questions need
Well,
thousands.
see, and I don't know because the fact that it's someone I've never heard of
Yes.
leads me to think. I mean, the 2 options are all the characters are very obscure, or I
Yes.
just don't know this game,
Right.
or they have a lot of different options.
That's possible.
And it might just be that Adam and I are very similar people.
Right, it's possible. Adam, how many of those questions that he answered did you answer the same way?
I was not keeping track.
Okay.
Many.
Many. Okay. So
Okay.
you were very similar. Okay. All right. We are not, by the way, going to get to a second quiz today where we take one for each other because this is already long enough. So
Exactly as expected.
we are going to end with the big reveal of Brandon is.
Do you want to take a guess?
Do I want to take a guess?
Ooh,
Is it
okay.
Okay, then it's somebody that I know. Yes,
you
know.
do.
Okay. I'm gonna end up. It depends. Do they put villains in this or
So
not?
I can also read the description, and you can maybe guess after the description for what they say.
Oh, let's do a guess
I
first.
like
and
that.
Then,
Okay.
And then the description.
Guess first.
Guess first, and then description, and then another guess.
I don't know if you're going to be a villain.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might be a slightly shadier character.
Yes.
And you did say you like heists.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. I genuinely have no idea, and so just because it's
Okay.
funny, I'm going to say that you are going to be Banjo or Kazooie.
Banjo or Kazooie. I'm a bit more of a Kazooie than I'm a Banjo. I bet.
Definitely.
Yes. I'm going to go with Bowser. Read the description.
Okay. The first sentence makes me laugh.
Uh-huh.
You're a person of few words,
Okay.
Oh,
but when
that's-
you speak, you mean what you say.
Okay.
You may not appear to be the most caring or empathetic individual,
Uh-huh.
but when loved ones face trouble, you are always there to lend a hand. The past may be hard to face sometimes, but if you keep your cherished ones close, the darkness can't touch you.
Okay. Dante from Devil May Cry.
Okay. Did you want another guess, Dan?
Oh boy.
Solid Snake. Could be Solid Snake also from that description.
Or it could be dude from Splinter Cell, whose name I can't remember.
Mhm.
I am gonna stick with Kazooie.
All right.
Cloud Strife.
Cloud.
Cloud.
Yeah.
Some heist in
There you
there.
go.
There is a heist in that.
I will say the other quiz that I found that was longer, I felt like would have been better,
Would've
but
been-
it was
was-
twice the question.
Twice the questions. Maybe we'll have to speed run.
Well, yeah, if
Another
we
one
don't
of
just
those.
yak the whole time, we could get through.
I don't think I'm very Cloud Strife personally. Well, we don't know your character, so we can't say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that I am.
You're not a Cloud Strife.
I'm not a Cloud Strife.
No.
Nope. I'm more of a Vincent than I am a Cloud Strife.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to pick one of those characters to be.
Yeah.
So
Just moving that ranking of this
yeah,
down.
yeah. I'm gonna have to move down to C minus.
C minus. Yeah, I'm gonna drop it a little bit as well. I don't know. Okay, now I want you very quickly, even though this has already gone a little long.
Yeah.
If you had to pick a video game character for yourself,
Oh,
who would it be?
who would I be if I am a video game character? I don't know. Let's say
Me as a video game character.
can I pick Napoleon from Civilization?
I knew you were going to pick a Civ character.
Because then I can pick a historical figure
Mm-hmm.
that I'm kind of like.
Man, Napoleon is a good choice.
I'm gonna pick Napoleon from Civilization because it cheats.
My
And-
favorite part about
yeah.
Napoleon is that like Europe declared war on him,
Yeah.
not on France, on Napoleon.
You know, the whole Russia thing was a mistake. But I've had my own Russias, right?
Yes.
I've definitely had my own Russias.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Napoleon.
Yeah. Dang. Well, now I want to just talk about cool historical figures. Let's do that in the future. For
Uh-huh.
video games, I don't know. I asked you the question, but I don't have a good answer for myself. I am gonna say
Kazooie.
Kazooie. It's got to be Kazooie, right?
How's that, Ben?